really want to be known as an influencer. I really wanted to go down the road of like an Oscar-winning actress.
How is it different when you're working with your peers?
It felt like I was re-entering a middle school and I was the new kid.
Have you always done therapy? Is that new?
I was always very emotional. They're like really crazy like roller coasters of ups and downs. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here.
Did I hear that DMX was your godfather?
My daughter's here? My little pumpkin.
We were always like, pumpkin, pumpkin.
Hey family, it's Carlos Watson. Guess who's stopping by? The wonderful actress, Paige Audrey-Marie Hurd. You see her on Power, just completed season 2. Season 3 just got greenlit. So much good stuff about her. You're absolutely gonna enjoy her. And did you know that her godfather was DMX? Hey Paige.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Where are you? Are you in New York today or where are you?
I'm in LA right now.
For some reason, I thought of you as living in New York.
So when we're filming, I'm in New York. Like where I stay is here in LA.
Now, are you an athlete or were either of your parents athletes?
I never really got to be an athlete because I was acting my whole life, but I did try out for the basketball team in high school.
And?
I made it. Everybody thinks that's so funny when I say that. I made the team, but I had to be a full-time student. And at that time, I was filming Everybody Hates Chris. So I ended up not playing on that team or being able to even transfer to that school.
So did I hear you grew up in Dallas or no, or did I hear that wrong?
I grew up there until I was about 7, and then we moved out here for acting. But I was always back and forth because my dad is still there, and so I went every summers there.
That's what you're here for, right? By any means necessary.
Wait, do you really think this is why I'm here?
Well, I mean, we hanging out and your boyfriend just comes in and you start acting like a whole different person. I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, and apparently I don't know you either.
So you're acting on 2 shows these days or just 1?
I started on 2, but I'm just on Power for now. I started with the Oval as well, though.
How do you like doing Power? Are you enjoying that?
I've been learning a lot. I've been fully on my own, and I just feel like such an adult. Because I always forget I'm an adult, being that I play young on TV, you know? But I really do love my show.
You've got kind of an interesting role this season. Are you gonna do the right thing or the wrong thing as his love interest?
Listen, I pray she does the right thing because these Instagram comments and DMs are just out of hand, okay?
Yeah. Who's the most interesting celebrity fan of either you or Power overall?
A lot of rappers. I'm always shocked. I don't know why I would be, but I just am. I'm like, oh, thank you. I think anytime I'm like talked to by like a well-respected actor, it just warms my heart because I'm like, oh wow, you're a fan of my work and I appreciate that.
Who's your idol? Who do you admire?
I love Angelina Jolie. That's my girl. I love the fact that she's a humanitarian. I love that she's adopted children and had her own. Like, I just love her all around. So if I could work with anybody in the world, like it would definitely be her.
Tasha Clarkson was the new girl next door. Unlike just about every other girl in the neighborhood, she didn't hate me.
Hi, Chris. Hey, Tasha.
I always tried to play it cool around her.
I was impressed on how many meaty series roles you've had. You were on Everybody Hates Chris for a good bit. You were on Hawaii Five-0, now on Power for a good bit. Why do you think it is that you've been getting these roles?
Well, God is good, so it's probably Jesus, of course. But outside of that, I know like I'm very intentional about certain roles. So there was a point in my career where I wasn't working and I know my team was probably like, you can't afford to be saying no to certain things. But for me, it was very important that I chose what I thought would move my career where I wanted it to go. I don't really want to be known as like an influencer. I really wanted to go down the road of like an Oscar-winning actress. So I just tried to pick roles that I felt like it's something that you would remember.
Where have you learned the most of all of your different roles? Where have you learned the most?
I want to say Power. I've learned kind of what to say, what not to say, and how to move, and also how not to like really take things personal, especially with this show. I think with the fans and how passionate they are, it's teaching me a lot of separating the character from the person.
I just don't understand. Who would want to kill our professor? Tariq, you don't even seem upset.
How is it different when you're working with your peers? I assume maybe it just feels more alive, more natural than when you're the kid on the set.
You know, for me, it's kind of opposite. Like I get a little anxious because I was not used to being around kids my age. I was used to being around all the adults. Maybe I got a little spoiled in that, being like a little person that everybody's talking to and about. And now you're sharing that world with other people, but you don't know how to be in it. So for Everybody Hates Chris, which was my first time, it felt like I was re-entering a middle school and I was the new kid. And I was like, okay, can I sit with you guys at lunch? Because they had their bond, and at lunch they'd go play pool and they'd go eat. And I was just like, I had no idea how to handle it. So now it just feels great because then you can relate on that same level with your peers. But then it was super hard and it was like, I just had anxiety. I've been in therapy on and off since I was like 7 years old.
Have you always done therapy? Is that new?
I was always very emotional and I didn't know why. And I was always called names: dramatic, sensitive, drama queen, all the things that I deem are negative. But so my mom put me in it.
Do you just talk openly? Do you find things that you guys focus on and work through? How do you do it?
I usually have some things. There may be a week where it was like a good week, and so we'll talk openly, but I really just kind of try to figure out my anxiety and maybe like just kind of diving into childhood trauma, because then I can maybe figure out why I act certain ways and I'm not understanding why these days.
Do you find that you are less anxious, less stressed today than you were 5-10 years ago? Or actually, as you've gotten older and more in the world, has the stress kept up or even increased?
They're like really crazy, like roller coasters of ups and downs, where I really feel fine and confident. And then when it's down, it's down. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? I feel like the world is crashing. For me, I'm the type of person like working helps me, staying busy helps me. So a few years ago, I wasn't working and that was really, really, really hard for me. Now I'm able to kind of keep my mind busy so I'm not as anxious, because my worry is always just about surviving, being able to keep myself afloat and getting into heaven.
And now tell me about your mom and dad. Are you more like mom or more like dad?
I am way more like my mother. My mom is a loving, big-hearted Black and Puerto Rican woman. So I am definitely just like my mother. My dad is very quiet. He is just, Southern and kind of in his ways. So it's always funny to be around them both, because me and my mom are just like, and my dad's like, shh.
Wait, how did they meet?
They met on a blind date. So she's from New York and he is from Texas. How she got to Texas, I don't know how or why she would do that. And then, they were married for like 10 years and then they divorced.
And was that difficult at all, them separating, or was that just the right thing?
It was the right thing for them. It was difficult for me. I always had problems feeling sorry for my dad because we were the ones who left Texas and he was by himself. So it always was really, really hard for me, especially on holidays. If I wasn't able to be with him and I was home with my mom, it definitely was super, super rough for me. Their split.
I have to imagine, I can't know, but I have to imagine he was proud of you getting to go to California and do the things you were doing.
I'm not sure. I think that's also why it was hard, speaking very candidly, and I'm sorry, Dad, because he's probably gonna watch, but I never felt that he was happy for me. He needed to express himself and how he felt about the divorce to my mother, but I feel like I kind of got little comments can affect kids as they grow up. And I feel like there were things that he would say that would make me feel guilty, but at the time I'm 7, 8 years old. I don't run my life necessarily.
Have you ever tried to do a restart with him?
I have written my parents several letters and telling them how I feel, but he's a little stuck in his ways and I'm not sure where the disconnect is, but we could have a kind of a good talk, but it's not much that's being said, so I don't really feel like we're getting anywhere.
Preacher telling the truth and it hurts. You're gonna make me lose my mind up in here, up in here.
Did I hear that DMX was your godfather? Is that right?
Yes.
Wow. How did you get to know him?
We actually met when I was testing for my very first movie, Cradle to the Grave. At first I was like, this man, because he was so late. I was like, oh my God, I can we go? You know, I'm literally like 8 years old, so I don't even know what's happening or how big of a deal this is. And our chemistry was really, really good. We got to know each other through the daddy-daughter bonding that we had to do before the film. So we have some great stories there. And then filming was also incredible.
And what was he like?
Like for me, being so young, I wasn't hip to his music. I probably only knew the songs that everybody knows, right? He was just super, super great. And like all our stories that we have are just wild and fun. And he was probably the person that took me out of like my comfort zone because I'm very like OCD. I have to stick to a plan. And if not, I have anxiety, and he's the complete opposite.
And was he almost like a supplemental dad?
Yeah, you know, I asked to be his goddaughter because at that age and at that very time is when I felt not the closest to my dad at all. And I never thought as an adult man that he was putting in the effort for me. So to see a man come into my life and just kind of love me, like really like touched a little girl in me that wanted to be a daddy's girl. So I just definitely clung to him and didn't stop. I just wanted to say that I love him so much. I don't really have many words yet because I still don't feel like this is real.
Did you get to see him before he passed?
Yes, it's so crazy. I actually saw him a week before. I had a dinner, mind you. He has never been to any birthday. He would say like he would come, he probably didn't show up, but this was just, you just knew this was who he was, right? So I had a dinner to celebrate 21 years in the game. And I remember being like, I need you there, I need you there, I need you there. He said, okay. But I knew what that meant. I'm like, okay, he probably won't come. And then I found out after his death, everybody he spoke to that week, they were like, he wasn't really feeling well, but he kept telling everybody, like, I have to go. I cannot let her down. I have to be there. So when I think of all of that now and then he passes, it's just crazy to me that that would be the event that he came to. My dad had never met my godfather, and I had waited to take a picture with all of them. And we have this video where I literally say, like, I waited my whole life for this. And it was just truly a beautiful, beautiful goodbye, I guess.
What did he call you?
He called me Pumpkin.
My daughter's here? My little pumpkin.
We were always like, Pumpkin, Pumpkin. So yeah, like it was the last time I got to hear him say that. I was at the hospital. I did get to sit with him in the hospital, but he was in a coma. So that would have been the last time that like we got to actually speak, hug, and all that good stuff. But yeah.
You think you could just violate me?
I didn't touch you.
I am the president's daughter.
And I did not touch you.
Take your damn hands off of me.
If you and I get together in 10 years, where will we be? What will you be doing?
This is me manifesting, but I would love to get back into film. Right now, Power is definitely has my full attention, but I definitely want to do feature films again because I want to do like dark roles, you know?
Now let's go get gangster.
Damn, Gina.
And then hopefully we'll be talking about, you know, what I want to do in the special needs community and the work that I'm trying to do there. Because you said 10 years from now. So yeah, because I'll be 40.
And why special needs?
I have a younger brother, Pierce, who has Down syndrome. Prior to him being born, I was always into the kids who had special needs. So he's definitely like inspired it a lot more, but I want to have this huge TV network where it's just dedicated to the entire special needs community because I think that they deserve that and it's just something that I want to fix.
Hey, before we go, I want to do rapid fire with you. You mind if I do some quick rapid fire with you?
Yeah.
The most beautiful place you've ever been?
San Diego.
Your karaoke song?
When I See You by Fantasia and also What These Bees Want by DMX.
Somebody let me know.
Your favorite movie?
I really like Pootie Tang and Beyond the Lights.
Baby, I'm gonna sign your pity on the runny kind.
Your favorite comedian?
I would have to say Dave Chappelle. I just love how free he is.
If you could have dinner with anybody in this world, dead or alive, who would you love to have dinner with?
Jesus.
If acting hadn't taken off, if for whatever reason it hadn't worked out, what do you think you'd be doing?
I would be a family and relationship therapist.
Hey, Paige, this was fun. I am so glad you came by today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so nice to meet you. I heard so many wonderful things, so I feel very honored that you had me on your show.
Okay, good stuff is coming your way. I can feel it. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed Paige as much as I did. So smart, so thoughtful. Love her focus on mental health and mental wellness. Love what she said about children with special needs. Was surprised to hear her say Angelina Jolie was her girl. All kinds of goodness about her. Don't forget to catch her on season 3 of Power. That is a great show. Hey, listen, I hope this is a good show as well. Got a new one every weekday. Hope to see you soon.